Welcome back, guys, to another special edition, a mod edition of The Last Game Hunter, where I take something and I make it better, or at least I think I do. So today I'm wearing the Atari shirt because we're going to do a AV, audio video mod, on a Atari VCS 2600 system. Now, the Atari 2600 was introduced in 1977 in North America, and has been a staple and an icon for what it has done. It actually lasted till about 91, which is extremely impressive. 91 or 92, somewhere around there. Not too many consoles can say this. It actually was an active product all this time. Not that it was, you know, around. So this is probably one of the longest reigning consoles on the planet. And to this day, still very sought after and loved, especially for us older guys. So what we're going to do, we're going to put an audio video mod on the output so you don't have to fiddle around with these old coaxial hookups anymore. I did it to a ColecoVision, and unfortunately I did not film it, so we're going to film it on this Atari, and I'm going to link everything down in the descriptions below of the parts, where to get them, and in this video you'll know how to do this mod. I mean, let's face it, we all want to play E.T. Nah, I was just kidding. We want to play Pac-Man, we want to play Defender, you know, we want to play Adventure. Guys, please, sit back, relax, enjoy this video, smash the subscribe button if you're not subscribed to me, and ring the bell for up-and-coming events, because I'm always doing something crazy. So guys, let's get on with this, and make this Atari hit at least the 2000s.
Atari Anonymous. My son Boris has a missile command problem.
My mission in life is to save all of mankind.
Lately, my daughter has developed a similar problem with Atari warlords. Now, with video pinball, my husband is acting funny lately. With Atari games so ingenious, so involving, so intense, I ask you, Atari Anonymous, is this problem contagious?
Okay guys, so first of course you're going to need to order the AV audio board. Now I ordered it as a build my own. It's a few dollars cheaper, and I kind of wanted to make everything from scratch, so I thought that was kind of cool. And the board is pretty much labeled anyway, so I mean there isn't a whole lot... Oh, will that focus? There we go. There isn't a whole lot that can actually really go wrong, other than putting in your resistor backwards. That's about it. And the instructions, of course, I'll have a link below. You can follow everything from there. It's a well-made board. It's labeled pretty nicely. It gives you this multi-wire inside this wire, 3 RCA jacks, your 2 resistors, transistor, and some double-sided tape, of course, to strap it down to the side of the case after you're finished mounting it. So let's get this built first and move on to the system removal of the motherboard and so on. Now the worst, I would think, or I hope, is behind me. There we go. I put this together off camera because, well, one, you can buy it already assembled, or it's pretty straightforward. You can see it all on the pictures on the website, and I didn't want to bore you guys with me just putting this little board together. It's mainly the installation to the console that we're looking for. So there it is built. So it's up to you if you want to make it yourself, or I did a pretty good job, I gotta say, or you just order the board already made and you just wire it up on the inside of the console. So next we have to take apart this lovely old Atari. This is a Vader. Actually, I only own a Junior, 2 Vaders. I don't own a wood grain one yet. Still looking for one. So this one here was sitting around, did not even know if it worked. I got it in a lot where everything was missing. I had to buy a power adapter for it and everything, and I tested it before doing this because it would just be a waste if I didn't. And I actually took a screenshot or a bit of video close up to the television to see the graininess that was going on in the picture, and I want to see if that, you know, completely improves. So basically it was camera to the screen so I could see the graininess right up close. And that's something I don't think a video capture card would capture the way I want it to be captured. So I'm going to see, after this is done, we're going to take that same camera, we're going to go right up to the screen and see if that grainy is gone. I'll point it out when the time comes. Let's take this apart. One nice thing is we won't be using this anymore. It won't even be on the console anymore. So Phillips screwdriver, there's 4 screws, here, 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 and here. Very, very simple to take apart. There's our 4 screws. Make sure you don't lose those. And this should be pretty simple removal, I would expect. Alright. Apparently, the base is not what holds the board. Huh. It's got a piece of paper stuck inside it. Let's take a look at that in a minute. I have to say, for 1977, this unit is very clean inside. That is very impressive. I open it, and we have a piece of paper with this letter or something on it. I have no idea what that means. It's so old, the tape just let go from it. We're just going to take that off. That is really odd. That was inside from factory. I don't know if it was to mean a certain version or was it a repaired board? Who knows? That is just weird. So, another thing I wanted to point out, your cable. For anybody that has an older Atari and your cable gets damaged, well, it's actually a plug-in. It is replaceable. So you could just actually fix, repair, or replace this internal cable, or just do the AV mod. Now, what you need to do is you need to remove this, I guess, you're gonna need to remove this housing. It's actually, I guess it was kind of an RF type frequency thing or whatever they did back then to not interfere with your output, so that your output was the best possible output that it could be for its time. But we're going to take this off and we're going to discard it. After this, we don't need it anymore. We're not going to have that interference anyway, and it is just on by some little tabs that you got to bend. So you need to take a needle nose pair of pliers, straighten the tabs back out. Off that comes. And to be honest, this foil is no longer needed either. It's just redundant, redundancy. So now guys, we have our board. There's an Atari VCS motherboard. That is all that's to it. It is a very simple product. And now we need to remove some parts and add in our new video mod. Now there's a transistor right here. You'll see it next to this red coil. There's a transistor right there. We need to remove that resistor and just toss it, or transistor, sorry. We need to take it out, cut it out, make sure the pins aren't touching in any which way or form, and toss it. We will not be using this spot anymore. Okay, the idea of course is to make sure that this guy is gone. Let's get it zoomed in here. And there's no contacts touching whatsoever. Now that's removed. Let's move on. Now, on this model, the next thing to be removed is this piece right here. There's 5 pins going into the board, so I have to remove this. This is where our AV cables are going to solder in. This side is pin 1, 2, 3, and so on. Now this is the piece that you take out. I'm going to focus in here. And basically after you desolder your tabs, it's not just an easy takeout. There's actually solder in behind here holding it to the metal cage. So just take that solder out and snap it off. There's a piece of board. This is a board that goes inside this thing. And you just snap it off or cut it or whatever you want to do. You're not using this anymore. So in the end, when it's all cleaned up, it should look like this right here. Now we're going to take our already made video upgrade and we're going to now mount it to the board. So we have the board part done. So what we're gonna do, try and point this out best I can here. Pin 1 is gonna be the one furthest away from the box. So pin 1 is gonna be black. Pin 3, so we're skipping pin 2, is gonna be red. And then pin 4 is going to be blue. So pin 5 is not used. Now over here, we're gonna go in 1, 2, 3, 4 resistors. And on the one end of the resistor, this end here, we're going to solder the yellow wire. So I'll get that done and I'll show it to you. Okay guys, I gotta say, that was a bit of work. Mainly because, not this part here so much, because it was just going down through a hole and you soldered the other side. But right here, going to that resistor, it required a bit of heat, some pressure. It did not want to stick to whatever is coated on that resistor. It was just being really painful. But I finally got it. So now let's get to drilling out the base cover and mount the RCAs and finish this up. Just kind of, I don't know if you can really see it, I just kind of gave myself a bit of a guideline, kind of where I want them to be. I'm going to probably put them a bit lower than that, but I just measured it out to kind of give a center area. So what I'll do is I'll start off by making my first hole in an area that's roughly about the same as the center as best I can. Go very slow. Okay, I shouldn't have probably free-handed as much as I did, but it doesn't look that bad. Okay, so before I solder everything up, I just wanted to do a quick show of what I'm doing here. So the ground wire is going through all the grounds at the back. Where are they? Oh, at the back here, so all up along here, so I gotta solder that. The red will go through your 2 audio jacks, and the blue is going to be your video. So I'm going to solder this up now and remount everything, because at that point I should be ready to test. Time to do the pull test. Everything is solid. Clip off the remainder. Let's put this thing together and test it out. Okay guys, there was one thing I forgot. After you get your board mounted, you stick your thing out of the way so that it's going to be safe, your video upscale board. There's a dial right here. You see this dial? Okay, that is your color control dial. So now that the RCAs are hooked up, you're going to need to adjust this to the colors to your preference. So put a bright game in like Pitfall or Frogger. I'm going to use Frogger, and do your adjustments to get your color the way you want it, because that's going to be important. It's going to be completely different from when you were using RF to RCA. So just a pointer. I almost forgot I was going to put this together, have it all adjusted and not show you guys. So I'm just going to power this up the way it is and show you guys that it's all working, and adjust the colors while you guys can actually see me doing that. Hey guys, so here's the moment of truth. Here's where we had, of course, our snowy input, because it was on channel 3. Now we're going to change over to RCA. So it does know the RCAs are plugged in. Let's turn the console on. Remember which one's on. Well, we have audio. Hey, the colors aren't so bad. Okay guys, well as you can see right off the bat, the grain that was going on, that I had going on in the coax hookup, was actually really grainy. There was a lot of graining going on. And now that seems to be gone. The picture is definitely much sharper. And the colors were pretty much bang on from the AV mod to the, I guess, coax mod to the AV mod, so I really didn't have to play around with that too much. But it's extreme. Like, I'll show you guys how extreme it can be. So I'll just grab the console here, we'll move over, and if I go to adjust the color wheel, look, it's now blue, it's now red, purple. Like, it can be whatever you want it to be, but we all know Frogger's supposed to be green. So I'm doing my best to make it, that's probably the sharpest right there. So that's probably where it was supposed to be. I actually had it off there. So now I have the colors exactly where I want them. I lay my console down, so there was a minor adjustment, but nothing major. So that's what they tell you, that adjusting wheel is there to adjust the colors, because once you go from the coax to the AV, there's a definite sharper image. Color transitions are completely different. You're now going through an upscale board, and you need to adjust your colors. Very simple to do. I used my finger actually to do that adjustment. I didn't even use a screwdriver. And anyway, guys, I hope you liked this video. I hope I showed you guys how to bring your 1977 console into the 2019 sorta. Maybe there's an HDMI mod out there I want to get into, but we'll have to check into that later. But till next time, guys, please share, like, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and till next time, game over.